Greetings YouTube, Sebastian here, and today we'll be looking at Resonance, a brand new physical modeling synth by Robotic being. This is indeed a physical modeling synth, but the cool thing that makes it unique is you're using these different resonating models that are based off the code from the Rings by Mutal Instruments Eurorack module. And these are, I don't know the science behind them, but you can go look at Robotic Beans video on this about that. They kind of explain it. So let's get started. So what ends up happening, the process is default noise is basically a white noise. So without our resonator, we're gonna get this click, which is basically just an impulse of a transient that when it goes through this model resonator, creates a nice sounding kind of marimba kalimba kind of thing, which we can make into glass by bringing this structure knob, which I believe kind of, I don't know the science behind this, like I've said, but you can create some glassy things with this. Now, one thing I do really like about this is you have the option to link envelope 1 to this noise, so we're kind of getting this weird white noise kind of sound that isn't really too pleasant. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our rack extensions, and we're going to go to our resonance folder, and we're going to go to our samples, and we're going to go to our IRs. Navi Retlob Studios added a lot of cool things you can throw in here. So you can hear some of the characteristics come from that sample, and that's basically because we're using a sample like a sampler now. So we can bring up this decay and bring down our subsyn and bring up a little bit of our release. So the structure kind of shifts the frequency of the resonator, which is really good for, like, your glass effects, making bells and stuff with the model resonator. And the brightness is basically a low pass filter when all the way on 0 on our left, but it can be a high pass filter too. So it is really nice that you have this amount of control, and this dampening is basically dampening the sound. So it's like a guitar player is muffling the notes that he is playing. He's muting the string that he is picking, basically. And then the position is the position of the resonator. And you can look at this like a pulse width modulation knob. Then you got these performance controls right here. You got a random, which is pretty cool. This works for the position, so if you want to emulate a real, like, kind of performance, like this is an actual instrument, you can add some random position to that. Now right here we have a filter, and this filter is a multimode filter, and I believe it is a 12 dB slope filter. So we got a low pass, a high pass, and a band pass. And what I like to do is I like to, I learned this from like using Serum, is I like when I make really majestic, beautiful pluck sounds, I usually like to bring some of the highs out of it, but we have this brightness knob to do that for us. So we got a velocity control right here, detect transients, which basically detects the transients in the waveform. We got this mixed L, R, and left and right. I'm not quite sure what this does, but my guess is that it's panning the I the IR, or the sample we have loaded into the sampler in here, and we're hearing more of a kind of a piano kind of emulation for, like, if the player is playing on the right, you'll hear it from the right, or the left are the lows. And yeah, kind of, I'm guessing it does that. I could be wrong. And we got our keyboard tracking, our semitones, and our sense tuning. Now, the key switches, I'm not really sure what these do, but I'm guessing we can grab learn, and let's go to our brightness. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what these do. So we can grab let's grab a C1, and let's put this right here. And yep, so yeah, so it's basically like a key switch. That is pretty cool. But we have this right here. This is the hub, I like to call it. You have your pitch for your oscillator, or your sample you're feeding through the resonator, and then you got this mix right here, which is pretty cool. You can mix in your model, or your sub. And then we got this amp right here, which is your gain, your spread, your pan, and then you can also link this envelope right here to be more of a conventional amp envelope, which is really cool. We got a plain Jane LFO right here. You can retrig it. You can sync it to the host, which is Reason. You got your vibrato right here, which is pretty cool. You can use this with the mod wheel. So if you're bringing up the mod wheel, you can get some vibrato, which is, the conventional way of using the mod wheel. So we have our voices right here, our portamento. Next, we're going to look at the inharmonic string. This is basically a string kind of resonator. I don't know how it works scientifically, but it does some really cool things to our sound. So let's grab a sound here, a noise, bowing. I'm sorry about that really loud sound right there. So we got this nice, kind of guitar kind of sounding, and the structure kind of acts a little different. It kind of, to my ears, it sounds like it's almost detuning, making it harmonic. So this is really cool. Now, this mod matrix is probably one of the most advanced mod matrix I've seen in a rack extension synth. It's got drag and drop, of course, but it's just it's different compared to what I've seen. And you got these mod CV ins right here, which you can use like Polar, or I mean Pulsar, or any of the various Electric Panda rack extensions to control a source using this, which is really cool. And this is just a really good synth. Like, I am happy that I was given the opportunity to beta test this. So let's look at some presets, and we'll see if you decide you want to get it or try it. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna analyze some presets. So we'll start with some plucked, because I think that is like the strength of Resonance, is creating plucks. So he is using the model resonator, and without that, he sounds like a bit of a rim shot that he's transforming into this nice harp. Alright, so clicky pitcher. You can make some weird stuff with resonance. You can make some really weird EDM-like sounds with it. I'm sorry if that's a little loud. Alright, fatty harp. Cool, nylon and rubber. That is really cool. Well done, Navi. We got some polys right here, which is pretty cool. A nice, sounding organ, in my opinion. Bears repeating. So you're getting a lot of nice stuff in here. So if let's say you can drop a loop in here, or you can actually run a drum loop from a Dr. Octorex right into this impulse right here, and you can create some really wicked things using this. But we'll try that in another video. Let's look at some bells. Model chimes. And there's a lot of patches and samples we could try, but I'm running a bit short on time, so nostalgic bits. Let's try a couple of my presets out. I made some presets. I don't know if they're gonna... I gave them to Nicholas of Robotic Beam, but I think it's too late for my presets to be in the factory. So we'll go to my stuff, and they should be right here. And we'll go to the Plucks, Sun Harp, and if this prompt ever pops up on your screen, you just go to the folder, click on the folder, and go search folder, and it'll find the sounds. So that is one of my sounds. Wine glass. Which this is really, really cool. I do love this preset that I made in Symphonic Dynasty, excuse me. Click sample, search folder. I don't have a MIDI controller, so let's pull out scales and chords, C minor. So I kind of wanted to make like a string ensemble with a bit of a gated sound. So yeah, this is Resonance. Resonance is really, really cool. You can go into Propellerhead shop and trial it if you like it. I hope you buy it. It's something new for the Reason Rack. We do have VSTs coming in Reason 9.5, but I think this is way. I think this is a lot more unique than some of those VST physical modeling synths out there. Yeah, thank you for watching my video. If you liked it or hated it, leave a like or a dislike. Subscribe if you want to, because there's more Reason stuff coming up, and there's some 9.5 stuff coming up. See ya.